right. Cool. And yeah, we're here. Hello. Welcome to Odd Jobs, Long Nights and Cold Mornings. I am Rook, Blue, Rowan Dean. You can find me on Twitter and itch at indignant underscore GXD. And I also wrote this game. Um,
Yes.
with help of my friend Daniel, who's playing this game with me tonight.
Yes.
Um,
Hello, everyone. I am Daniel. You can find me on itch.io at trainboy with an I, one, .itch.io. Or you can reach out if you're in the Roll Plus Bond server, I guess. I don't have a Twitter.
some people just don't social media.
No. Blue, tell us a little bit about your game.
Yeah, Odd Jobs, Long Nights, and Cold Mornings is a game about adjacent acquaintances, professional respect, and catching feelings. It's a two-player game where one of you plays the established, one of you plays the rising, and you've known each other for a while, and now you're working together towards a common goal. And it's about figuring out what happens when you're having a lot of feelings and spending a lot of time with someone that you don't know very well and getting to know them and what comes out of that. I would like, yeah, and the setting for our game today is going to be Slaughterhouse City, which is an area in Flood City, a Virginia City, Nevada inspired original setting that Daniel and I have been working
Yes.
on. And we
So,
have, no, go ahead, Daniel.
Slaughterhouse City in particular is a fictionalized version of Goldfield, Nevada. We will be using mostly fictionalized place and character names here, but if anything strikes you as familiar, that's probably why.
Disclaimer, I know nothing except for mostly what Daniel has told me and showed me on maps and the occasional Wikipedia
Absolutely.
article. Um, so if I get something wrong, that's my fault, and it's true in Slaughterhouse City, usually.
If it's not, we'll have a discussion about it.
We'll figure out what's interesting. All right, do we
All right.
wanna play the audio?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Valid of you.
By all rights, you'd think Flood City would be a ghost town by now. But there's more to it than just some mining camp on a hill that clings to life, even after the mines shut down and it was long past its days of being the place to be. There's something more. Some things that don't always make sense, but you know they're still true. Some things are hidden under the surface, unless you've been told where to look. But we're not here to talk about Flood City proper, no. Today, this story is about another town.
Argenta,
Mac?
you're a long way from home. What brings you to Slaughterhouse City, Gent?
When the mines played out, they moved south to forge another legend out of mines and long-forgotten mysteries. A few of the best, worst-kept secrets. And at the heart of it all, good people you'd never know the names of, unless you're digging real deep in the right archive or database. And even then, you're just getting lucky.
So, this group of yours.
The Red Cards. A long time ago, it was a card club for a bunch of business leaders. Started after the fire. 1875.
Not here then.
Problems in Flood City are problems we've got here in Slaughter, too.
Problems would those be?
How do you know what really happened?
We make sure the city's alright. We take care of the people here. And We fix things. Sometimes, things that needs fixing is things people shouldn't have to know about or even fear. There's something in the air here, gent. If you can grab onto it and bend it to what you mean to do with it.
The Comstock blew up before anyone knew what was happening.
I'm not too sure. Some of the older cards, they say something happens in the mines. They open up a vent and there were whispers and they saw things and they don't talk about it. Whatever they've been letting out, it soaks into you.
Individual miners made their claims, struck it rich, broke the system, and reforged it.
You're smart, Argenta. We could use someone like you.
All their lessons paid off in the shadow of Florence Hill, where the Columbia Consolidated Shafts turn out the richest gold ore in the state.
What would happen if I said no?
This is not a place of individuals where you can find what you need if it doesn't find you first.
Can't say I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd have to tell them. They'd be sore at me that I didn't have a sure thing. We keep an eye on you. We already have to do that. You own the building we meet in.
This is a city of crime and steel, smoke and scraps of magic from who knows where.
So is that a yes?
Of course it's a yes.
A lot of things happened in 1908, sure. Hell, a lot of them happened here. Tonight, our story is about two people who knew each other at arm's length, and what happened after external forces and unforeseen circumstances pulled them together, shoulder to shoulder.
Welcome to the Red Cards, Argenta Hall.
All right. Blue, you were still muted in case you don't know.
I forgot. I muted because my cat looked like he was going to want out, and he wanted out and then in again before that audio was over.
Valid.
I said my username wrong again during a plug, so I'm glad y'all didn't hear that. So I'm only half as embarrassed. So I think now we can go through the rules of the game, and
Yes.
which is at my itch, indignant_GXD. If you want to follow along, it's pay what you want. And comes in multiple formats.
Yes, and it does come
readability.
with a player version as well, which I have yet to play.
Correct. All right. Before you get fully into describing your characters, you talk about your history together.
Yes, and before that, we should mention, as with the rest of this stream, we are streaming on behalf of the Native American Rights Fund. So they will be available. You can hit $donate in the chat to get a link to that. It'll give you all the information you need to know. And currently our original goal was $2,000. Our stretch goal is $2,200. So if we can hit that before the end of the night, midnight EST, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Daniel. I forgot all about that.
Of course.
I am currently coming to you live, streaming from Kalispel and Salish people lands. And that's something I wanted to acknowledge and forgot because... Yep.
I am streaming to you from the summer homeland of the Washoe people, which is where they still are, fortunately.
Right. Odd Jobs, Long Nights, and Cold Mornings, a narrative game about adjacent acquaintances, professional respect, and catching feelings for two players. Sometimes three. Um, First, before you get into character creation, you describe your history. Describe together. All players should agree on the setting and social dynamics. First, your acquaintances. You've seen each other around. You're familiar by name, if not more. Your history is long, not deep or intimate. No one would call you close. You occupy, you occupy distant spaces in the same social circle. Describe it. What kept you at arm's length before? Comrades. Your skills are complementary. You work well together, almost better apart until you don't. And then you have each other's back. You're allied under the same cause. Define their aims. What brings you up close and personal now? And when you do scenes together, there is a stance and an impact. Working together isn't always clear cut. Your relationships move between wary, which is like doubt and mistrust, familiar, a position of comfort, camaraderie, and curious, questioning and looking for more. At the beginning of each scene, mark your stance. At the end, describe the impact. Do you grow closer, see things in a new light, lose trust, or hold your place? Um, your impact can look like a lot of things. An inch closer is still an impact, but it may not mean your stance is different in the next scene. All right. And then for your characters, one of you is the established and one of you is the rising. Make your decisions for yourself. Keep your uncertainties in mind, even as they conflict with each other. The established, you're stable, distinguished. You've been at this for a while now. A known face, a skilled hand. And then you choose a set of adjectives. There are 3 different sets of adjectives to choose from. And then you have 2 uncertainties. Can you help the rising avoid your past mistakes? And what will it mean if they outshine you? Daniel, do you want to read the rising?
I will read the Rising because I will be playing the Rising. The Rising, you're a young star burning bright. You're at the top of your game, a fresh talent, a new eye. Choose adjectives. You are either magnetic, reckless, and seething, nimble, curious, and bold, or alert, hungry, and clever. And you're uncertain of the established. Will they teach you what they know? And is their experience only an anchor to the past? In this case, I will be playing Ardenta Hall. In her late 30s, originally from Red Wing, Minnesota. She worked as a station agent there in the 1890s for the Duluth Red Wing and Missouri Railway. She moved to Dayton, Nevada in 1901 when the Tonopah boom hit, and then from there to Slaughterhouse City. The railways of Nevada in the early 1900s were an absolute mess. The entire state practically melted down. Everyone moved a lot. Argenta, in this case, is nimble, curious, and bold.
All right. I will be playing Jonah Mac McTaggart. He uses he, him pronouns. He's approximately 38. He's local to Slaughterhouse City. When he knew Argenta in the 1890s, he was a porter on passenger trains. Now, in his days in Slaughterhouse City, he is a hand around the yard and helps with freight things. Doesn't really go out of the city on trains much anymore because he has another job for the Red Cards, where he is a problem solver, among many other correct descriptions. The choices for the established for adjectives are cold, precise, and rigid, formal, measured, and capable, or neutral, honest, and receptive. Jonah Mac is formal, measured, and capable. All right. And this game is played through 3 kinds of scenes. based that are triggered by different prompts, which are all inspired by lyrics of the 3 songs that were the inspiration for this game, um, which was written for the Once Upon a Blue Monday SAD Game Jam and the Record Collection 2021 Game Jams of January this year.
Yes. And the 3 songs that these prompts are written from are Arrow by Polite Fiction, Alarm Call by The Correspondents, and Autoclave by the Mountain Goats.
All right. The 3 types of scenes are odd jobs, long nights, and cold mornings. When you select a prompt, decide which of these sets the tone or setting of your scene. Odd jobs. There is work to be done. How do you further your cause? What are your social obligations? Daniel, do you want to read Long Nights?
Long nights. Following success, you celebrate. What are your revels like? Do they change when you're together? Alone? Following mishaps, one or both of you needs patching up. How do you treat each other's wounds? Are they external and bloody or internal and fraught?
Cold mornings. When you wake, you're alone. Or at least it feels that way. Where do your thoughts wander? What do you wish you had said?
The
And
game
then,
ends
mhm.
when one of you dies, when you've both admitted your feelings or walked away, or when the narrative has reached its own end.
Right. And a thing I decided and forgot to communicate to Daniel. The Rising, you're new here. You get to go first.
So to be clear real quick, we'll talk about the local railways as well as the red cards themselves. This stemmed, the red cards themselves stem from looking at Sanborn fire insurance maps for an awfully long time. So we work for the the Ramsey chapter of the Red Cards, which was founded in 1902, in a loft in the 3rd floor above what is now a hardware store. The Red Cards were originally a coalition of business leaders in Flood City. They spread out to take care of issues across some of the major mining camps of Nevada. In this particular case, Argenta's connection to the Red Cards is straightforward. She bought the hardware store and had no idea they were there.
Mhm.
We are running about 18 months after that happened. After I met an old porter who I had seen mostly at night around the rail yards in the 1890s.
And then we
For
played
the
a game of
first
5.
thing, I think we want to have an odd job.
Alright.
Um,
I will set that up in our little slides that we're working in over here. Hornet
yes.
peeping. Do you have an eye on a particular prompt?
I'm looking at them right now. I think hmm. Okay. I think the prompt I'm going to choose is so many rules I know you'd bend, so all good things will find their end. The question for me is what rule did you break to keep them safe? I suspect that in this case, what does this mission look like, do you think?
Mm,
We're doing something. Something dangerous. I think we're out in Diamond Field, northeast of Florence Hill. There's mines everywhere you look. Barely anything else. The last train for Las Vegas struggles up the hill, over Meta Pass, and out of sight.
one of my first suggestions, which may or may not be correct, is are we making sure something doesn't get built? Or,
Hmm, that could be.
yeah.
We're up in the hills. Yeah,
Do they think
I
they're
think
getting too deep?
there was a recent claim staked not far from the rail line. Out in the wide section, the loop that the Las Vegas and Tonopah makes to avoid the steep grades out of the town. And we're coming right up to the track. I think there is a rule in the red cards. It stems from an old mining rule. You never work alone. At no point should you be split up. At no point should you not be able to see your partner.
I'm adding that to the red cards over here.
And after the last train goes out of sight, there's a sound. The putter of a gasoline engine. And a speeder comes ripping along after the train, watching for sparks. Fire is a horrible thing in a mining town. And we are close to the track. So I douse my lantern and I throw yours away. And we are out of sight and out of mind. Does this transgression comfort or upset you?
You set the fire. Is the thing that you did this without me?
The thing is that the thing strictly for the prompt is that I broke a rule.
Yes.
A hard and fast rule.
Mhm.
I definitely think the thing that might be unsettling for you is that I did it without telling you.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely think it bothers Mac. Like, you're new to this. You're in here on his recommendation. Like, no matter how talented and like good you've shown yourself to be in the last year and a half, that's always gonna be a vibe for him. Is like, I stuck my neck out for you, and that's
Anything
gonna
wrong that
carry
I
us
do
to follow
reflects
us
on
both
you.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's gonna be there. It's yeah. And Mac's done some really dumb and not necessarily even the right things in the name of doing the right thing. Uh, it's still communication. Uh, it does bother me. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't have done that, but why didn't you tell me?
Know how much you can hear on a speeder?
Pretend I don't.
Anything. You could hear a rattlesnake in a bush.
Mac does not break eye contact while you are talking.
I think I relight my lantern. Now, come on. Let's get this done.
Yeah, let's do it. Mac's jaw is set.
What happens here? Are we dynamiting a shaft?
That sounds about right.
Disabling a hoist?
I think we're all right. 6:30. Trying to keep people from. I think it. I do not fully yet have decided, nor do I think I will fully understand how the red cards and all the weird leaky magic feelings are in this town. But I think that's what's behind this particular one.
Mm-hmm.
They're close to an event or something, and like somebody has more knowledge than I or Mac does about how everything works, or at least how they think it does. And
Yeah.
they don't want anything more of that to happen than they have to.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep people safe by sabotaging good commerce, I guess.
Sometimes that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Your turn for a prompt.
correct. I'd call that a success, right?
I think that's a reasonable success. Do you find your lantern?
I don't look.
Okay.
A lot more suspicious to be someone who's got a broken lantern than one that. Oh, someone was here. Look. Yeah, but they're not here now. Guest appearance, sir.
Welcome all of stream to Blues Cat Scotch.
Most people know him as Sir because when he talks to me, I say Sir at him. We'll climb up on top of my laptop and try and sit on my keyboard, and I'll be like, "Sir, excuse you," and that's why everyone knows him as Sir. Okay. Now I have.
Dirty cat.
Yep. 30 cat. The Honorable Prince Himbo. Uh, Time to pull an established and use a prompt that almost begs an established to be picking it. When I'm the person by your side, I'm your mentor, I'm your guide. To the chooser of the prompt, what guidance do you offer? And to the other player, are you listening closely? So, Mac is still tense. Um, less so now that we've left, but Edgar, stop. Still tense, but more like less clenching his jaw and more biting his lip.
Mm.
I think he walks you down to the hardware store and pauses outside, leaning against the wall, brick out front. I'm assuming brick. This might be early for brick. I don't know.
Yeah, brick is appropriate.
I'm not tired yet. You want to go and play around of cards? Talk for a
Sure.
little bit?
What's your game?
You pick.
Mm.
Might have to borrow your card back. I haven't gotten a new one yet. When Mac invited Argenta to the red cards, they were playing a game of cards, and Mac pulled out the 8 of clubs and slid it across the table to officially invite Argenta Hall into the red cards. I think that did not make the cut of our fabulous audio.
Yes. I think this is gin rummy.
Cool.
Just for flavor.
That's valid. The is I don't actually know how to play that one, but the scene isn't so much happening. So
No, we aren't actually going to be playing this game, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, what guidance do you offer? What do you say to me?
Uh-huh. I think Mac sits very tensely, I think, with a drink of something if Argenta offered it. And he's all uncomfortably silent for like the whole first hand or round. I don't fully know Gin Rummy. But basically the first rotation of something. And then the second time he lays down cards or something is starts talking. Let's get one thing straight. You know, even since the old days and in the strike, I make dumb choices because it's the right thing. I'm not opposed to taking risks. I am not bothered by having to defend my actions. I'm not going to tell you to not do that. But when you work with me, I damn fucking hope you would tell me what we're going to be doing because we don't work alone.
That's fair. I'll remember that.
Some rules are dumb. Well, not even dumb. Some rules, it's fine. They can be bent sometimes. That one exists for a reason, and I'm going to be a hard ass about it.
I understand.
I think there's a real long sigh because Mac was not expecting that to come, and like after a long while, like lays down another card or something when it's his turn again. Thank you. Not used to talking to people and being listened to.
Yeah.
Your turn.
I think the way that I say that I am listening closely is Arjana considers for a moment and is like, so if you need to ask quickly, how would you do it? What would be your alternative?
Mm, you got a point. If you can't I don't even always need to know your plan, I just need to know there is one.
Mm, I understand. She continues play. One thing we did not do for those two scenes is pick a stance at the beginning.
That's correct, I definitely okay, so
I think
yep. My stance,
I don't
I
know that I super have a pitch for a cold morning here, so I might. Mm,
it's not required to go in order, I just felt that it was
yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
Yep,
Um,
I was familiar, and I lost trust, and I have not figured out quite where I was at with, the second scene yet.
yeah, I think after that, I'm definitely curious. Uh,
Mm,
mm,
wary impact. Hmm.
I think that mm. Oh, this is going to be a long morning.
Uh, cold morning?
A cold morning. It's also going to be a long morning, to be clear. I think
That
what this
tracks.
is no emotion that's worth having could call my heart its home. You
Go
go to
for it.
check up in the morning and I'm not there. Shops closed that day. And so you go on to your day job. I think today you're working for the joint station in Columbia. And there I am at the desk with bags under my eyes. I took the morning shift, 4 a.m. to noon.
I think I woke up to you on my way out to the yard. Last minute decision or? Could have told me that you had to get up early, you know.
You had something to say, and it was a bit late to call out, don't you think? To be clear, the questions here are for the prompt picker, what leaves you empty at night? And for the responder, why do they deserve better? I think Argenda looks away, and it's with everything that's been happening, I still am not sure that the store apartment feels like home.
So that's why you're over here early and not sleeping. Don't think people get cats or something? I've shop cats. I don't. Doesn't have to be like that, Argenta. You don't have to just wait for someone to be home. You can make it.
Never feels like there's time.
Feel you there. What do you think we should do about it? Hang up some curtains?
Hmm.
Like you got a couple of screws and hooks downstairs.
Logren.
I can
Just a
help with that.
couple. Yeah, we can work on something.
Everybody deserves to feel at home, Argenta. No matter how often you're there or how long you'll be in that spot.
Hmm.
Besides, you bought a shop, a whole 3-story building.
Well,
I think you're gonna be here for a minute. It deserves to feel like somewhere you should be.
I'm still getting my mind around the idea that you can think Slaughter is any place people should be. But okay.
There are people here, and anywhere a person is. There are people here, and they got jobs to do, and feelings, and might not be a place people should or shouldn't be. That's not on me, but there are people here, and they deserve to be able to call it home. They're not going anywhere.
Hmm.
Just because I call it home doesn't mean anything. Doesn't take a whole lot for me.
Hmm. It was enough to get you off of the rails. That's something.
What, you didn't think I should be there either?
I didn't ever think you'd settle down.
Argenta, just because I'm not on the rails doesn't mean I have done that. You like blue?
Sure.
Thinking you might say you preferred another color, but all right. Suits me.
Mm,
Be over tomorrow. Might have some for
mm.
your windows. Make sure you get some sleep when you're up this early.
I think in this case, I am going to grow closer.
Good.
Still curious, but it's a little more clear that you actually care.
I thought, hey, don't make decisions without me because I can't watch your back if I don't know I need to. Was a pretty clear example of caring, but okay. I also grow closer. Um,
Your prompt.
Now that's a difficult question because they're all really good. I say as the person who wrote all of them. I didn't write them. I picked out lyrics and they came up with
You wrote
questions.
the questions for them.
Yes. So I half wrote prompts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That is just flirting with you relentlessly.
I look chat with mostly Emily, so of course that's true. I I love attention. Uh, thank you for all of your compliments. I am dying. You can't hear me blushing, but it's happening. Um, I've had a lot of practice. I think in summary, because I don't know if that's gonna be a scene, the next day, Mac arrives with um, a pair of blue curtains. Uh, and helps
Wonderful.
you hang them up somewhere nice.
Somewhere nice. Not over a window or anything, just somewhere nice.
Like a useful window. Somewhere that you're actually going to see them. And that they will also
Yes.
be practical. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to acknowledge my favorite prompt and then set it aside because I don't think this is the scene, and it might not even be one that I end up picking today. Upon me you can rely when you're high and when you're dry. How did you save their ass tonight? And then the reply question is, are you grateful or did you, quote unquote, have it under control? Um, and that's definitely not the situation this time, but I'm having fun acknowledging it.
Yes.
Daniel, why didn't you tell me that I have a weird line showing up on one of my PDFs?
What? I don't have a weird line.
You're valid and I believe you, but I'm going to send you the one I have.
Okay.
So you can see because I'm confused and distracted. And now that I've told you about it and showed it to you, I can finally choose a prompt. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Mhm.
What's your prompt? What's your beans?
I am thinking of Show Me When to Run or It's Such a Waste of Time.
Hmm.
I am here to have a pitch and or flag of interest. And also, it is now 7. It would be a good moment to take a 5-minute break if we need to.
I I think I don't need a break if you're fine. Um,
I am, but we also go forever without breaks, so I'm making sure
yes,
to call attention to them.
absolutely. Uh,
Uh, cool.
I think I am interested in a waste of time to think
All right.
because we can exhibit something that we haven't seen just yet.
Yeah. It's such a waste of time to think that anybody knows me like you do. They've seen you at your worst. How do they help you hold back now? And in the reply, are you thrilled by or frightened of them?
What's your stance here?
All right. After my last dance, I'm gonna go with familiar. Thank you for moderating me at my own game.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be an odd job, of course. Uh, no bar fights this time. At least not for this
Here
prompt,
I am
unless you
still
pick it later.
curious. Yeah, not yet.
You're what? And you're still curious?
I'm still curious, to be clear.
Okay, cause I heard words before that.
Uh, yes.
You probably said, "To be clear, I'm still curious," but I misheard that.
Yes.
Alright, you haven't seen me at worst, but you have heard about my worst, I think. And I think that's an interesting time to re-explore that.
Mm-hmm.
To be clear, for Mac, the thing about scrap magic that makes it work best for him, the way he comes to understand the rules of how it works and when it won't, is you have to be doing the right thing. It's not always the same thing as being in the right. Um, the worst that Mac described to Argenta during this card game when he was trying to explain the weird loose scraps of magic floating around Slaughterhouse City and this general area was there was this one time he got hasty and didn't think about what he was doing or why. Uh, the person he was acting against deserved what he was getting, but retribution and violence and vengeance and getting even and all that spectrum is something that's you have hands and guns and knives and all sorts of other things for a reason. It's not playing fair when you cause violence with magic. When you use it in defense, that's different. And there are other people who could use violence in magic, and that's because they understand the world differently and that responds to them. But this is what's true for Mac, and it's a weakness for him. I do not fully know what is causing this for Mac, but I think time passes between scenes here.
Yeah.
How do they help you hold it back tonight? It's been like 6 months, maybe?
Oh, quite a while passes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sometimes for me, this game can be very long in time.
Mm-hmm.
We could also flash back at any time because it can also
Yeah.
be non-linear, because that's the fun part about these questions. But, um My job to listen out for messages, keep track of what's being said, so we know what's happening in this town so that we can keep it safe. But it doesn't fall down, which is a response to a comment in chat. Time goes wibbly wobbly. Okay. All right. What is this job? I think we're interceiving. We're supposed to be intercepting something, but I think people know we're here, which was not part of the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, as a rule, if you're being secretive about things and people know you're there, that's a bad thing. Blue?
Sometimes you have to state the obvious. Because also, sometimes
Of
you play this
course.
game and you're doing things secretively in plain sight. I hope you can't hear me picking all of my cat hairs off of my mic fuzzy filter. Better now. It's not all over my face and tickly. All right. Thank you for the 7 o'clock alarm. Okay. Yeah. I think I know this person. Or one of them. I think it's 2 or 3 people, but I know one of them. People become red cards for a lot of reasons. Most of the time, it's because you want to do the right thing and take care of something. I can't speak for this person whose name I now have to find.
Can give you pitches if you need.
I am also opening a name generator that's mildly appropriate. And then pronouns should theoretically arrive along with them.
I was
What is
casually
undefined
scrolling
doing
through
in a
Google Earth and wound up in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somehow. It's fine.
Okay, why is undefined a last name in a historical name generator?
Because some
Is that a clerical
because
error?
it's part of how the generator works. If it fails to come up with a name, then it's undefined.
I apparently have not been using name generators often enough.
Sometimes software is not perfect. Yeah, no, one of the characters that's sitting on my name list that I'll find at some point is Christopher Undefined.
But I'm gonna do my classic favorite move and combine 2 first names. Brinley
Hell yeah.
Highwell. I will put that in chat because those are some words that and I mumble. Thank you, Fool. That's yep. It's when the computer has a clerical error.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brinley Highwell is he, they, because you can have they, them pronouns at any time and in any setting. All the pronouns could exist because we say so. I don't think we really got along well. And then they weren't a red card.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody paid better. When you can guess what things people might move on and know a little bit about the motivations of opposing factions that try to keep you in check. You're in value, you're in demand. Uh, yep. Uh, we love a sellout.
We love a sellout.
uh, yes. Two people who worked in a very major, famous union strike on behalf of the strikers. Uh, yep. Sellouts. Grits teeth. All right.
Mhm.
And I think the thing here that applies to the prompt, they've seen you at your worst. How do they help you hold it back tonight? Is there's a really fine line between defense and violence.
Yeah.
And having feelings complicates that more. Because I've invented a lot of the magic lore for this setting in the past 2 weeks. Hey, Daniel, what does it look like when I want to hurt this person?
When you
I have a I need to go find that picture of a little card deck holder, uh, because that's the only thing that I know is true.
when you want to hurt this person is an interesting pitch because I have to be able to stop you.
Huh?
Um,
I think by now you know that me pulling out a deck of cards in the middle of a heated moment or any moment that isn't
yeah.
me literally asking if you want to play cards is a moment. There's a reason I have very clearly asked every time you and I have like played with these characters, which has been we played like a small game and then this scene. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think that yeah, when you're going to try to hurt someone, I do think it looks like, you draw this out and God, it just occurred to me that one way of taking it is that Mac has this really cool little like leather book binding for cards. The other way of taking it is that Mac has a fucking card holster.
It could be both.
Mac has a holster
Because
for
that
his
could very easily be clipped to a belt or something like a holster.
Hey, defend your silly character in this card holster.
I will do that later. No, this is me yes-anding my silly character in the card holster. Excuse you?
I think it is not the cards that give it away. I don't think that
That just indicates that I'm about to do a thing, not
yeah,
necessarily that I'm about to do a bad thing.
there are two different types of card trick, right? There are flashy, showy, magic trick style card tricks, which are all fun and good.
They're not magic tricks, Daniel. They're illusions. Yes. I had to make that joke at least once because I know it exists.
Yes.
And
and then there's the type of card tricks that is legitimate sleight of hand. That is, people who just out of habit will shuffle a perfectly normal looking shuffle and have someone else cut the deck as you're supposed to. And then they will deal everyone royal flushes. I definitely think that if we're looking at what magic looks like, I definitely think that this looks like more that kind of um trick, that it looks like you're getting up in the middle of doing something and just like shuffling cards idly as a fidget. And I think what happens to say that it's bad is that it gets still and it gets hot. It's like it's like when you're sort of in the middle of the continent, when a storm is coming, it'll get really, really hot and really, really still as the clouds are moving in. That doesn't happen in Nevada, and that's part of why I can tell that something's very deeply wrong here.
Mhm.
It feels like going out before monsoon weather, or going out, in before like a summer storm in Texas. Except it's not. It's like a late night in southern Nevada. And I just like, yeah. I have elaborated on what this magic looks like. What does it look like for me to stop it?
Yeah. Um, you've seen me at my another worst. You
Yes,
were around during the strike.
I was around during the strike.
That didn't always look so pretty. Usually didn't. You said that got
There
out of
there
hand,
is a
right?
reason that is like one of yes, the fucking Pullman strike didn't look pretty sometimes.
Yeah. You said it got out of hand a lot.
Yeah. Turns out you stop half the country's railroads all at once. People don't like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I think Mac was involved in about as many fights as he tried to stop. And you know what it looks like when Mac is about to join in instead of try and break it up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been watching way too much Black Sail, so if anything I say is a direct reference to Flint or sounds like one, there's a reason for that.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Uh, I was telling Emily about my character pitch, and then Emily's like, "I am now imagining Toby Stevens as this person, and I am not sorry." So yeah, that's kind of become a pretty canon thing. For anyone curious, approximately the age of his Lost in Space character, but clean shaven with with a slightly closer, short haircut.
For
Uh,
the record, Argenta Hall does not have a face cast, at least right now.
no, because Daniel and I do things a little bit differently. Face casts are fun because then I'd be like, "Look, I told you this character was hot, and
Yes.
now I have to be hot." Okay. Yes. Eyes narrow. Uh, there's an angle to the way that he looks up under his brows at Brinley, and there's a hesitation uh,
Mm.
because this is the thing that Mac knows he shouldn't do. But when you use magic for anything, it feels righteous and powerful, and winning is a lot stronger when you win the fun way, and it's tempting, even if you know it's the thing you shouldn't do, and it probably won't work for you if you do it. Um, but the thing about scrap magic is you're always wrestling and trying to prove that you can make it do what you want. So, of course, when you think you know when it won't bend to you, you wanna prove that you can. What if it works for me this time? What if I'm strong enough? And that's dangerous and tempting, and, hold on. Time to be a little bit on my bullshit and pull the cartomancy back up.
Oh, just a little bit, huh?
Okay, a little bit more on my bullshit than I was a minute ago. Because one of the things that Mac was a bit of a card nerd about before the red cards was he did a little cartomancy. Um, these are the same cards he had in the strike, but they used to have blue backs. But the reason that Argenta knows they're the same cards, even though they're red on a back now, is because they have all the same notes on a couple cards, and his initials are on the Ace of Spades. You know, this is my deck. Give it back. Um, no, this is good. I was looking for a different vibe, but I think this is a good card to flip over. Of course, now Texas Hold'em. There's two cards. It's a pair of cards. Flips them over. One is the Four of Diamonds, which is improvement in financial position and inheritance, which immediately removes the sellout card to Mac.
Mm-hmm.
The Eight of Spades, a card of disappointment, illness, and a loss of social balance. That sounds like a sellout.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. Yeah. So I am trying to not just be like, and then you throw a card like a knife because that's boring. And I don't think it's using the cards as so much like, here is a focus object for making all kinds of things happen. Like those rains you asked about that were a lot. I can't remember the year or anything. I'm referencing historical moments very badly.
The rains were 1904, August, September 1904.
Thank you. A whole train got washed off of a track and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrifying to hear about. And I didn't even like look up the history. I was just like, that does sound like some unusual things. I can immediately understand why Argenta's like, okay, so magic is a thing? Did you do that?
Did you do this thing that seems absolutely impossible?
hmm hmm Well, then I have to Google a thing about how time and history works.
Oh. Blue breaking out the Google this time.
I don't want to just pretend I know a thing.
You could. That's like what games are for.
I know, but I'm at least gonna go look up a fact and then be like, okay, so I know this is possible. Is it popular? Um, for reference, I googled what year electric lighting became a thing, and that was 1879.
Yes. And absolutely that is possible. Bodie, California had electric lighting put in 1895. The entire town.
Thank you for validating my cinematic choice because I think there's not a whole lot of lights, but enough to keep the hallway, visible. It's nighttime. Uh, they flicker. There's a buzzing noise because, good old lights make a lot of horrible noises when they're not behaving.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay, part of the reason I'm taking so long is because I forget that I'm supposed to tell you what you do, which
Yeah, what do I do?
someone with so much, like, character agency practice being like, "No, just interrupt me at any time." Uh, I think what you say is you quote me from our first conversation, our first card game, since we saw each other again in Slaughterhouse City. Mac, there's a difference between being in the right and doing the right thing. And I cut my glance over to you, and it's all that same intensity and disappointment and, frankly, a little bit of rage. And then I blink a few times, and it fades, and I'm looking at you like you're Jen. Uh, we do things together, and I'm not supposed to go off and make risky decisions without talking to you about it. Not if I can help it. Uh, and I don't think I really want to talk about what does happen, but we
Sure.
see those cards get shuffled to the bottom of the deck. There's a button that snaps on the booklet, and it's attached to his belt, or it's on a holster, or it's in a back pocket. And the lights go out, and then we're on it can still be the same scene, but we are somewhere else later in the night.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Uh-huh. I can tell you what happened. I just did not necessarily want to get super graphic about it. With over a dozen people that I haven't met before, they haven't given me their lines and veils. And sometimes
Yes.
you can be cinematic and not show or tell. Let me only imply that I wanted to do violence very badly and break a rule, and
Yeah.
only cinematically say that I didn't break the rule. Um, I think it's something with a filing cabinet. I think you're rifling through it because you know what you're looking for. Because you're the
Mhm.
office person. Uh, well, you have a history with office things, and you probably have been given more context than me. I've been the people person and the yard person. Uh, so you're flipping through the filing cabinet looking for something, and in a very like, I hope I'm not interrupting or distracting you way.
Mhm.
Jen, thank you. Um, sorry about that.
You kept it together.
I almost didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so my response here is are you thrilled by or frightened of them? And Gent has the poker face to not show it, but I definitely think that she is frightened.
Valid.
Um it is, probably what it is like does not go back for a round of cards that night.
Mac doesn't offer.
No.
One, I don't know if Jan has her own deck. Uh, I don't think Mac he's comfortable touching his cards, but yeah, you probably. I think there have also been nights where it's like, do you want to drink? And I don't necessarily offer to play cards with you. I don't think that happens either. Uh, and
Mhm.
that's fair. Mac has feelings about it, but they're like all very aware that you have valid feelings.
Yeah. I am going to. I think I am going to lose trust here. I know what you're capable of, and I know what it meant to you and why. And I don't think I super hold that against you, but it also that is a you know moment of oh shit.
Yeah, it is now almost 7:30. Do you want to take a 5-minute break before we open your next scene?
I could stand for that, yeah.
Cool. Great. I am down to take a break as well. Back at 7:30.
Yes. See you then.
Cool. Cool. Let's make sure Adam is there, just in case. Oh, well, it helps if I boop.
Lou is like, I am going to make sure Adam is there, and then does not ping Adam.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Cool. Right. Hello. We are back from break. I am Brooke, Blue, Rowan, or Ro, or Wen. You can call me any of those. It's a multiple choice game here. I use they or they pronouns. I am facilitating my own game, Odd Jobs, Long Nights, and Cold Mornings, for Roll Plus Bond, our second anniversary stream. This year we are streaming to raise money for NARF, the Native American Rights
Fun.
Fund. Thank you. I remembered that I used the wrong F when I was telling a friend about it, and then I remembered hearing that I was wrong, and then my brain immediately deleted the correct F. I'm like, no, that one's the wrong one. I remember that, and I could
Brain
not
will
remember the
do
correct
that
word.
sometimes.
So thank you, Daniel.
Yes.
NARF is a nonprofit organization asserting and defending the rights of Indian tribes with a focus on 5 key areas: preserve tribal existence, protect tribal natural resources, promote Native American human rights, hold governments accountable, develop Indian law, and educate the public. You can donate at tiltify.com /@rollplusbond or donate.rollplusbond.com. All right.
Yes. And you can put !donate in the chat at any time to get the link.
I am playing Jonah Mac McTaggart, who uses he, him pronouns. He is the established. Daniel.
I am playing Argenta Hall, she, her pronouns, a station agent, and the Rising. Before we took the break, Jonah had just dispatched a sellout from our shared past, which was rough. Daniel, quick history minute here. We keep talking about knowing each other back in the 1890s on the railroads. Funny thing that happened in the 1890s in the on the railroads, they all shut down. This was in 1894, the famous Pullman strike, which I would encourage you to read more about. It is a major turning point in the history of U.S. labor laws. And with that, it is my turn to pick a prompt, isn't it?
That sounds correct.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Is that the oh boy if I've picked one, or oh
That's
no?
the oh boy of I'm very eyes at one, and I think we've reached a narrative point where it'd be fun to it would be fun to hit on this right now. I am going to pick the prompt. Hand me your hand, let me look in your eyes as my last chance to feel human begins to vaporize. What do you see in them that you once saw in yourself? How are they human in a way you aren't? The first of those questions is for the picker of the prompt, so that would be for me. The second of those questions is for Mac. This is a cold morning, because of course it is.
Is it the next cold morning or another one?
I think it might be another one.
That's fair.
I don't think I want to zoom in too closely on how Gent handles like seeing that side of you.
Looks a lot different than it did in the strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely a scene that we can let breathe. Is this like weeks later, or has it been longer?
I think it's shortly after. I don't think it's, longer enough for that to have settled.
Yeah.
It is enough for it to It is enough for it to have percolated, but like not
It's
gone cold.
close, but it's not
Yeah.
stifling. Okay.
And I think the night before went bad. I don't think we got hugely hurt, but I don't think we got done what we were trying to do. And I think it was, it was a lot of going back and making sure that we didn't making sure that we didn't get followed back, making sure that it didn't come back to bite us. And someone else is going to have to try to do that job another day. And so I think this morning it's just feelings of inadequacy. I think that Jen is one thing that Matt continually seems to be saying is that Jen is smart. Jen is smart. Jen like realizes that Mac sees like any major like failings or issues that Jen has, sees that as reflecting back on him, and is not going to try to make an excuse for that, because no, but is going to is cognizant of that, and is definitely wanting to make good. So I think it's just, it's going up. And what is Mac's living situation like here?
I have some vibes now. I have to put them to words. You've ever seen that meme? Generally, just the joke that people make about single men who live alone. How it's like an empty mattress and like a top sheet, not a fitted sheet, and like a pillow, and like there's just not a whole lot to it.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
good.
But Jen's like, it doesn't feel like home, and Max says, you should get some curtains. There's not a whole lot in Mac's apartment.
First time that Jen sees fit to go over to Mac's place, it's just, bro.
I think there's a spot on the wall where you can see the paint hasn't quite faded the same way from the sunlight. There used to be curtains.
Yeah.
It's a simple bed. It's made nicely. I think it's somewhere between a studio apartment and like a solid one bedroom. I don't know how to explain that it's both, but it feels like both in my head. But yeah. You can say that out loud, Daniel.
Did Mac fucking give me his curtains?
Doesn't need them. They're not what makes Slaughter home.
Okay, bud. Boy, howdy. Yeah,
Thank
it,
you, Emily in
you know,
chat, for acknowledging a fact about Mac when I say Mac's room is not that bad. Um,
this um Jen, knocks at the door and how do you answer? I think it is not a crazy hour. It is a
it's morning, but it's not like, oh
yeah,
my god, it's morning.
it's 8:30 or 9 a.m. It is a decent call for a normal human being. It is not waking up at hostler hours.
Even though we both know those hours, we both don't bother people at them.
Yeah. I'm not coming in here at 3:30.
Um,
I'm not even coming in here at 6:30. I'm being positively generous.
um, I think for all the odd hours Mac keeps, he still is somewhat of a morning person, and this is him sleeping in. Uh, but I think he was standing by the stove. I think it's coffee or something. I don't drink coffee, so I don't immediately know all the ways you could make coffee in 1908. Uh, but I
No.
imagine the stove was involved. It's probably just hot
Yeah.
water poured over ground or something. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I was going to propose the same.
yeah, it's something like that. Because it's coffee, and people who drink coffee are like, "Oh, it's awful. I love it." So that's Mac. I think moves away from the stove and I think puts on like grabs a flannel or something, a plaid shirt. Uh, Mac has a lot of work looking clothes, button up shirts, heavier work coats, useful sturdy pants, probably with pockets. Probably a lot of swearing if there aren't pockets. Mac does not like dress pants. But no, puts on flannel. I don't think it's buttoned. It's just on. You don't just answer the door in your undershirt. And then yeah, answers the door and is less surprised that the door is being knocked out and more surprised that you're there. Um,
Yeah?
Arg- Argenta, good morning.
Are you all right?
Why do you ask?
It wasn't a good night?
No, no, it wasn't. You want to come in?
Sure.
Mac
Watch the
opens the
blank
door.
spots on the walls. Does not make eye contact, I think, but
Does the camera have like the knowing look though?
the camera has the knowing look. And just as like how are you doing with that?
uh, Mac looks away out the window, um, and then looks away another direction. uh, because curtains. Uh,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna avoid looking at you. I'm gonna probably avoid looking at things that remind me of you. Um, um,
That's the real
I.
trouble with living in a sparse place, is it's hard to find a place to look when you're avoiding someone.
uh, I thought I was A lot better at resisting that impulse. Fucking turns out I just hadn't had a very strong reason to be tempted.
Oh, something went like bad, huh?
I
Wow.
thought we were both talking about the other night.
Oh, fair, fair. Yeah, well, you did. You did resist it.
Thank you. I don't think I could have, and not without you, and I don't. Nobody should have been on the end of what could have come out of that. It's never not gone from me. It does what I want, or it goes real bad.
Hmm.
Thank you for coming by. I didn't expect to see much of you for a while after. Seeing something like that's a lot for anyone.
I'm no stranger to who you are. It's not pretty, but
Know
not
things
a
and
lot
to
of
see
things are.
things are to know things and to see things are two different things, Jen.
Yeah, well. I suppose I should count myself lucky then that I never had to. I never had to be there back then.
The last time, one I told you about.
Mm.
I don't think I don't think you'd be able to look at me the same way. It's one thing to know things and another to see them loud like that. Why'd you
If
come
you
to
ever
talk
need
about
help,
it? No,
if
go
you ever
ahead.
need
I will
help
absolutely
with
take
that, if you ever I may not have had the means to do something about that, but I've been there.
You want to talk about it?
Just let me tell you this. When when that grabs you, when you want to do something absolutely untenable, don't shy away from the feeling. Find a different way to express it.
How do you do
You
that,
did
gent?
you did good that night.
He got what he deserved, and he got it the right way.
Yeah.
No one else got hurt. You made sure that was true. Why are you over here so early today? Don't you got places to be? You don't have anybody watching your shop for you yet, do you?
The shop can afford a late start some days.
Everybody needs nails.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can wait to get them. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you.
Anytime. Yeah. To be explicit, what I see in Mac that I once saw in myself is that sense of righteous fury. It's intoxicating and wonderful and dangerous. What about me as human in a way that you aren't?
So yesterday, I was looking at props, and I had an idea based on part of a conversation we had in our exposition game that got cut down into our intro. Because fun history fact, in 1908, Slaughterhouse City's what, 6 years old?
Yeah.
I said I'm from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 38.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's very good.
yeah, and some of the stuff that happens that's weird in Flood City is there's a time demon, uh, less demon and more time weirdness. Uh, you ever meet someone who can be in 7 places at once? And there's also whatever is under the hill that's leaking out and causing weird things, uh, here in Goldfield and somewhat and differently in Flood City. We could say the easy answer is Goldfield just existed earlier. Slaughterhouse City is
Older.
established. But a fun thing Daniel pointed out is, unlike a lot of mining camps, Goldfield wasn't actually a place. or a settle. It wasn't settled, or people. There weren't really people who lived there in that specific area. It wasn't an established community in the same way before.
People were looking for the next big boom.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't
became
someone
a
who got
city.
lucky.
Yeah, people went out and found something, and then they built a city around it. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I'm local. I've been here," because one of the first things Daniel said was, "I'm from Minnesota." And then I was like, "Cool, I have no answer to that." And then I was like, "Okay, so what did I do after the strike? How did I end up here? Why am I the established? Like, what brought me here? And why do the red cards want me?" Which the second answer is pretty easy. Like, I impressed them with my ethics and my willing to just do things about them. Uh,
You're a
but
good way to get news up to Reno.
for me, the easy answer is of course, I'm going home. You have a bad time. The ARU was like, "You shouldn't be here. Some stuff went down, and it's not gonna look real great for you to stay around. You should put your head down for a little bit." Uh, so you go home, and then you get inducted into a secret society that teaches you how to do cool magic, uh, which conveniently has deep history in cards, which is a thing you've had a dabbling interest in. An idea I had that has several different possible answers, which might all just be one answer, is how did I get here? Um, a thing that happens to the people who grow up in this area since the vents have been opening, and like people who have spent time here, people who are local to those areas, they soak that up. It changes them. It's way easier for them to reach out and grab the sparks, and do something with them. Mac's been here his whole life. He finds it very easy. The reason the magic never doesn't go is because it's not that he can't grab a hold of the sparks. Usually when something doesn't happen, it's because it slips away from you. Now, if anything, magic flows to him. Argenta Hall, you're human in a way I am not, because I'm not all human. And that's the easy, fun answer to this prompt, but also
Also,
because you said you weren't in a place to do something about it, just because you didn't necessarily. Everyone is in a place to do something about it when they want to stop someone, the way that I wanted to stop people like Brindley. Clearly, you've held back a lot better than I have, and more. Whether I'm right or not, I think Mac sees that as control, restraint, something like that, and he respects that. That you feel like that, and that you can also keep yourself from being consumed by it. All right, now, oh, I should mark my impact like a big kid. A
yeah.
smart adult who has read the game they're playing. I say, which is funny because I wrote this game, so I should know how to play it, right?
Learning how to play your own game more difficult than you might think.
Uh,
I think I am going to see things in a new light here.
yeah, I think Mac is still wary, but this time it's a different wary. Uh,
Sure.
I am wary of being too much for you, because of what happened the last time. And where are my notes? Okay. Um, yep, impact. I grow closer here.
Mm.
Yes, prompt. Slash also
Prompt.
Jen. Yeah, say things in a new light. You said that.
Yes,
Proud
I
of
do
you.
see that.
All right.
Jen is still a little bit wary, but uh, for a very different reason.
Than mine or than earlier?
Than earlier.
So many of these I'm looking at being like, but what if you did them? Which is not how this game works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mm, I think, considering what we've just established, one of my favorites, because it's a very cheeky prompt. A throne of
Mm-hmm.
human skulls on a cliff above the ocean, howling wind and shrieking seagulls. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
Well, what does this look like?
Uh-huh. I think this is a meeting. Um, no, it's after a meeting, but I think we start a little bit before the meeting wraps up. But yeah, it's the end of a meeting. When the red cards meet, as is traditional, they all play cards together, uh, and talk about what matters. Matters at hand, agenda, things to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my brain only knows 4 card games. The I guess there's poker and bridge and gin rummy and cribbage and go fish. Uh, that's not true. Uh, and then yeah, so it's probably just poker because sometimes you just go with the classic. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think the last person folds. I don't think we're playing for money. Like it's tradition at this point. Um, like everyone, some people are talking to themselves about other things or plans for more long-term projects that they've been assigned, checking in on things. Uh, Milling about, people grabbing coats to go downstairs. Um, I think Mac approaches Gent. You want to play cards tonight? If you still got a game in you. Uh,
Sure.
and then
God, I have such a good scene pitch, but you would have to know Bridge.
I'm sorry, I don't. Also, can 2 people play bridge?
Uh, this Bridge is a very quiet game. I was definitely going to have a thing where we could, if we wanted to, we could be bridge partners and just like not focus on who the other two people are. It would be fine.
Well, then there are so many prompts left.
Yeah.
I don't think we figured out where these 2 people are going. Yeah, I don't think we leave. I think
Yeah.
hold on, I'm looking at my adjectives and, uh, thinking about okay, yeah, Gent and I will close up, because I think people yeah, Gent and I will lock up behind us, because, there are
Mhm.
doors that you can lock and then walk out of. Uh, my brain was like, formal, propriety versus politeness, and all of those things. There's a lot of ways to be formal and respectful, and all the images and optics, and it's fine. They sent us out to do jobs together all the time. There are probably things to be talked about. It's not weird. Um,
Hmm.
I was just thinking about it a lot because I do that. So I think Mac reaches into a coat pocket and pulls out this little 3 folded, 3 pieces of wood, in another leather case, uh, which is a small, pocket travel cribbage set. Uh, red or blue?
I'll take red.
Uh, Max smirks a little quietly, and as is custom for him, deals because he asked you. Um, even though being the dealer is kind of beneficial to you in cribbage, it's just a classic thing that came out of politeness to be like, I asked, I might as well like get all the cards and set things up. I think there's a few things Mac wants to talk about, but I think the thing that he starts with, um, as he pulls his hand to himself to look at. Anybody bothering you about trying to work anything yet?
What do you mean?
Sparks? Anyone try to figure out if you can make things happen? I don't think they're gonna assume that you can't just because you're not from here. Because you're new in town. You curious?
I think that Gent plays to 15 and
Takes her 2 points.
goes to grab the peg to move it up,
Mhm.
and grabs the peg from the starter. We'd already put both pegs on the board. I don't. No one's asked yet. But you're right. I do feel an expectation sometimes.
I've looked at a cribbage board, and for some reason, my brain is absolutely blanking on how this works, even though we were playing cribbage like last week. 'Cause you say starter, and I'm like, that's the name of the card.
No, the like the starting section how there's always 3 holes but only 2 pegs,
Yeah.
just goes and grabs the 3rd peg.
Okay. Hmm.
I don't know if that's a conscious thing.
Someone's nervous. Or did I not have a third peg before and you are making a weirdness point?
I am
I
making a
just
weirdness point.
Thank you. I just want to be on the same page. I don't think Mac notices right away. Um,
Of course.
I think Mac doesn't get 31, but I think Mac gets you to say go. Uh, Probably plays like a 2 or something, and then takes a point. And now that he's looking at the board, sees that there's 3 pegs uh, that are red, and then counts twice. And I have had this cribbage board for about 10 years now. I have never had 3 red pegs.
Huh? Oh.
He taps the head of each of the pins. I didn't even know if you had your own cards.
Of course I have my own cards.
You have a board and pegs too?
No.
Then why do I have extras?
You said yourself. Yosemite's fucking weird.
That Slaughterhouse City's fucking weird. And you told me all the mining camps are weird. Not like this one. Well, shit like that's happening. You better figure out a way to point it somewhere. Learn how to do it on purpose. This doesn't seem like much, but it can get dangerous really fast.
How did it work for you?
This didn't happen. Not. Well, there were a lot of weird things growing up, but it's hard to tell if that's me or if it's Slaughter. But
Mm.
I didn't have anything like this happen before. I was trying to figure it out. I was eager. I was curious. I didn't do it a whole lot during the strike, but before that, I knew a little bit of sleight of hand, card tricks. I showed off occasionally. Wasn't really a great idea. Tensions where they were once the strike got going, but that's why we played a lot of cards. Past time, less things to fight about. It's hard at first. It's not really something you can explain to someone else how to do, and you can't just pick up a hammer and a nail and show someone how to build a house. That's Wrestling with the sparks is not like that. But the first time it clicked, it was like Mac lays down another card. 23. It was like you remember when you learn how to read and suddenly you just start noticing how they're everywhere? It's not like that at all, but it's noticing a part of me that had been there the whole time. It's like a second pair of hands I never knew I had, just waiting for me to use them. It felt natural, almost like everything before that was not. Grab a hold of it, whatever's it is that's around here, and you know what you want, and you pull on it, and a thread pulls straight, and it's true. It's you touch the world and it moves. And then things like this, that started happening. If I hadn't already asked you about it, I would definitely be doing that now.
Yeah.
You want me to try and help you figure it out, or you want to talk to one of the older guys? Sorry, they're all mostly guys. I don't know if that matters much to you, but
I'm used to it. I'd appreciate the help.
do my best. Looks like it might not be that much of a trial trying to help you figure it out.
Mm. You know more about that than me.
What do you think's gonna be the thing? What's the thing that won't work for you? I told you already, the being in the right and being right, that's not how it works for everyone. It's different for most people. What happens to you when you get that fire and you reach for it and it does what you want? You gonna be able to sleep at night then, Gent? I'm worried for you.
Jen is looking away and kind of doesn't have an answer, doesn't really have a good response.
I don't think Mac was expecting one. I just don't want to see you get hurt. I brought you into this. What happens to you is on me.
No.
No?
You brought me into this. You brought me in because I asked, because I wanted to know what was going on up above. You did give me the option.
I hear you, Miss Hall. I still think I'm gonna continue holding myself fucking responsible for anything bad that happens to you.
And what if something does? What then?
Make sure you get through it. If it can. Before that, I do my best to make sure it doesn't happen. Just because I take myself responsible doesn't mean I don't know there's shit out there I can't control.
Would you still hold yourself to account?
I do not believe I can answer that question.
You and me both.
I think I answered my question, which is I'm afraid of my righteous fury and also that you have it. It's a dangerous thing to carry. What about you?
You know about the Panic of 1893.
Blue might not.
That is out of character. I am being fully on my bullshit here.
I could not. Okay, now that I think about it, was that a question or a statement? Also, is this the thing you told me about that I'm going to remember? Describe what the
No,
thing
it's not a
is.
thing I've told you about yet.
Okay. There's a lot of history around there.
Yeah. There is a lot of
Sometimes.
history.
Sometimes we talk about black sails and how much of it might have been real. Emily, where's that Tumblr
Oh,
post?
nope, I'm not thinking the Panic of 1893. I'm thinking the Panic of 1873, I think. Yep. Yep. We love to see it. But they're by and large the same thing. People put a stake in what's happening. They both of these were immediately brought after considerable issues with bubbles in railroad investing. 1873 in particular was
We were both
among other
babies.
things, two railroads failed and kind of sent the entire American and European stock exchanges into free fall. These were the Northern Pacific and the Erie. And the Erie was a very competitive road. It was a very lucrative road. It was the absolute savior of its investors. Almost everyone had put a whole lot of work into it and wanted to get everything out. The trouble is, once it was doing well, the other railroads in the area wanted that line. And so two predatory investors kept working towards a hostile takeover until neither of them had it. One of them because he was shot in a duel, and the other one because the first had kept printing more and more stocks until it was worthless. What Jen is afraid of is that if she fails, she'll take you down with her.
Buddy? Rip. Okay. What is the impact? I'm gonna see things in a new light. For reasons.
Sure. I think that I'm going to lose trust. It's Jen is acutely aware of how much she depends on you. And how entering into that, she is opening you up to exactly what she's afraid of.
Oh, buddy.
My turn to pick a fucking prompt, huh?
Yes.
Boy, howdy. Uh,
I have one to nudge gently at you like a domino,
what's your pitch?
especially considering what happened in the last scene.
Yeah.
Show me when to run.
Uh, uh-huh.
There's, like 12 more left that we could do.
Mm, I'm definitely interested in what this looks like. The prompt here is, show me when to run and when to hide. I know you would have known just what to do.
You're separated. Why is your problem one for their skills? Do they manage it without you?
What's this mission look like?
Bro, you asked me that last time. I know, I'm the established. I should pretend to be the person who knows what the red cards are.
Yeah, I also am very much in the mode of like my question is asking why I'm in a role that should demand you, and I think I can answer that more completely if I have something to start with.
Yes, for sure.
Um,
Well, what do you think my skills are? What would be the
well,
thing
you're
I'm supposed to do? Or at least the skill set you're thinking of.
hmm. I mean, there's an obvious answer here, which is something to do with scrap magic. Um, but I don't necessarily think that's it. I think it's
Yeah, there are other things that I am the person for.
you're an informant.
I'm
You're a handy
listen,
person. I
I'm a
think
social person. I'm a face and hands.
hmm I think there is a there is a whatever this job is, it requires a transfer. We're picking something up that can't be found to be gone, and we're making people believe that it is we're making people believe that it's all above board. Of course. No one is going to no one is going to suspect that we were working for our own purposes. I mean, preferably at all. But at the very least, until we're long gone. And I think the reason that you're working this is that we need to get this out of town and we need to get it out quickly. So of course we're the people to call because we're the railroad people. We can have it in Gerlach by 7 a.m. next morning and in Denver 3 days from now. The reason I'm where you should be is that you're the yard worker. You have the keys to the company Mac.
I heard company mech.
I said Mac, but that's fantastic.
I didn't know there were mechs in Flood City, let alone Slaughterhouse City. Um, okay, Mac. I'm a
Yes.
Mac. What do you mean? I might need some
Uh,
jargon.
Mack was a builder of automobiles around the turn of the century. I will pull up still a builder of automobiles. But they specialize in heavy shipping stuff. I'll post this in stream chat as well so everyone can see what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
That is a 1907 Mack. Here's
The other
another one
thing
as an
people are
example.
called Macs for the Mack truck, which became semis.
Mhm.
Valid. Cool. Love how Mac has the keys to Mac.
Yeah. Well, it was the first brand that showed up, and they started building in 1907. So
I have seen chat. Thank you, fool.
God.
Fool and Emily have decided that we are going to be playing a mech game now.
Yeah, apparently we're
Joke's
playing
on y'all. The
Lancer
only
for the
mech
rest
game
of
we
the
know how to
game.
play is Advanced Functions Unavailable.
Well, and Firebrands.
Is that really a mech game, or is that a flirting game that can have mechs?
Fair. uh,
I win.
but
Also, my character
yeah.
in our Firebrands campaign has had 4 mechs.
So
And not enough flirting.
You have to drive here because you're allowed and also capable.
Yes, I am in fact capable. It says so right there.
Yeah. I think Gent has gotten behind the driving wheel of a car once.
And then moved over because that car only had one working door.
No, I think like has had to run deliveries before, but like there is a difference between driving a Model T and driving a 7-ton truck. Among other things, just the fact that controls aren't standardized. And also that you drive Max from the opposite side. There are a lot of reasons why Jen is doing your job tonight. And yeah. So that's why. And I think what we see here is Jen is ready for this. Is has rehearsed stuff, has gone over everything, knows what to say and what to do. And is deeply, deeply nervous about it.
Yep, and now the narrative power goes to me because
Do I manage it without you?
yeah, I have to go look at that full question because I feel like yep, oh yep, I'm thinking of a separate question that okay. I got confused. I'm like, no, there's a thing you didn't. I'm like, no, that's because that's another one. That's a different prompt. Blue can't remember their own prompts because I wrote them all. Emily, why is this in chat? I am distracted by group chat. I'm sorry.
Rip
Okay.
to you. I'm different.
Did you remember to mute your chat, or are you just not distracted?
I'm just not distracted.
Well, congratulations. It'll be your turn soon. Uh, do they manage it? Hmm. The fun answer is, of course they do. I'm confident in you. Um, but also, what's narratively more interesting? Um, poll in chat. I'm only half joking. Um, okay, I'm gonna go look at this picture because oh wow. Uh, that's a Goblin Aster.
You're a Goblin Aster.
No, I thought we established I was a Knoll.
There.
Yep. That was me trying to remember what the combination of Knoll and Goblin was that we made the other day because I only remember all of the other ones. Noblin, it's funny with a G. I've yep, two G's. No, only the one. I'm stalling badly.
Yes. GG Goblin. Okay. Yes. Do I make it through?
Cannot type. I also cannot read.
I believe in you.
I just heard bleep. Bleep in you.
Mm,
No,
I
I
don't do
know.
that either.
So you don't believe in me. Uh, Gent is uh, being the social person, convincing people everything is fine because I'm driving a truck. Uh, as chat has asked, what are you doing? Which is a valid question.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're trying to drive away. Maybe it's some new stamps. Maybe someone's trying to set up a cyanide mill, and we just think that's a bad idea.
Probably is. I don't think. No, that sounds bad. Thank you, fool. I'm sorry if I just blew out everyone's ears. I'm usually not this good at being close to my mic.
Oh no, I would have been the person to blow out everyone's ears unless my mic was friendly to y'all and destroyed my horrible laughter.
Yeah, usually when you get loud, your mic is just like, no, we're gonna cut half of this. You are being rude.
Ooh, Emily has a good idea.
Thank you, G Emily, for using your GM brain to help us.
There's a cost or some magic shit that happens. Blue, what magic shit happens?
You said things are happening on accident, and I said that can go bad real quick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Everyone in the room, when you're trying to convince people that everything's fine, including people you see at work when you come in and take those desk shifts,
Mm-hmm.
no one remembers no one remembers you. I don't think people remember the thing that we're getting rid of, which is useful and also not.
Yeah, that's good.
So, the moment happens fine, but
Yeah, and
things are fuzzy.
I come out and I'm sweary and annoyed and flustered, and
It happened.
then next morning shit hits the fan.
I don't think it lasts. Um,
Oh boy.
but it's a real, you know, if it did last forever, then it'd have to be something people would have to explain and call a thing for. But if it went away, people just never have to talk about it again, and that's how you keep things secret. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Oh yeah. I don't know how long it takes, but it goes away fast enough that people can pretend it didn't happen,
Huh.
which is perfect. I think it takes
Yeah.
less time for you because you're there being like, but no, I exist. I don't know why you don't know who I am. I'm very confused by this. Um,
So, oh boy,
and the
yeah,
other thing,
that's good.
it takes longer because it doesn't come up as often. Whatever wall or something that happened, whatever got knocked loose, doesn't get that curtain rod does not get hung back up on its hook properly for a little while because
Mhm.
it doesn't come up in conversation a lot to be like, oh wait, what? To just spilled white out all over a thing you were trying to just nudge on by. I don't think a whole lot of things happen, but it is weird. Uh, your turn. Does word get out? How many people know that you had an accident? The red cards figure it out.
Mm,
Mac wouldn't tell. Uh,
I don't think that I have a pitch. I have a pitch.
what's a good thing I don't know how to play softball? Hit me.
That was a good joke. Uh,
I'm
I
glad. I thought it was gonna go over real badly.
I believe just for the fuckery of it. Um, I think that it doesn't last that long, and it's not the biggest problem. Uh, but you said no one remembers me. No one remembers who I am.
yeah.
No one remembers what this thing is.
Uh-huh. Not anyone who's in that room.
Yeah. Uh, I think there was someone in the red cards who was in that room, and like w- wasn't shocked to see me, but wasn't aware that we were gonna be here. And the next night we have a fucking meeting.
Oh. So what you're saying is the answer is yes.
Uh-huh. There's someone who's
Mm.
just like, who's this person? Why are they here? And we're all just like, huh? What prompt is this? I wonder.
It also is a good lull moment for us to potentially have a little break.
We
Because
did
it's been another 90
one.
minutes-ish.
Oh shit, it has. I thought it had been 30 minutes. Oop.
I'm very proud of you and your sense of time. Um,
Time doesn't exist.
yeah.
Uh, I think, yeah, go ahead and set that up. I will pick a
Uh-huh.
prompt.
Boop, 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 boop. Great.
Oh my god. Or alternatively,
Uh-huh. Alternatively.
do I say that there was a red card in the room? Or do I say that it was a little bit more than just that room?
Elaborate?
I I come back and I I have the thing, and you know you're supposed to get the thing. And you know you're supposed to have a partner on every job because that's how the red cards work.
I know you are gonna be
Uh,
so mean to me, and I'm gonna have to say yes because this is a good idea. Continue.
and you're getting this job done. You know that there's a job to be done. You know that you were on a job.
And I know that I don't work
Uh,
alone. Um,
uh-huh. But you have no idea who I am.
uh-huh. I've known you 15 years.
Uh-huh.
Big sigh. Okay.
Also, yes, last hour to donate. Definitely do that. We are about to go on break.
Yep.
When we
Alright.
come back, where have you gone? I am counting on you.
You picked a prompt, but you
Uh-huh.
did set me up a prompt to yeet it at me. Okay, you said y okay, I gave you a prompt to pick, but yes, now you did that to
Yes,
me.
that's valid.
No, that's good, and I kept eyeballing that,
Yeah.
and
Now you have a reason.
you just gave yourself the easiest answer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, bro. Congrats.
Bro. I did a good thing, it turns out. All right.
That's good. How the tables have tabled?
My how the turns table. How the turntables.
Okay. Yeah, cool. You ready to go to break? 5 minutes good?
5 minutes good. Come back at 8.
All right. 9 for me, but you're valid.
Yeah. 11 EST.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome back. I even still have this open. I'm so proud of myself. Hello, I am Blue Rook Row or Rowan. You can call me any of those. It's multiple choice tonight and every day. I use they, them, or they, them pronouns. I am facilitating odd jobs, long nights, cold mornings for Roll Plus Bonds anniversary charity stream. Today we are streaming to raise money for NARF, the Native American Rights Fund, a nonprofit organization asserting and defending the rights of Indian tribes with 5 key areas: preserve tribal existence, protect tribal natural resources, promote American human rights, hold governments accountable, develop Indian law, and educate the public. You can donate at tiltify.com at rollplusbond or donate.rollplusbond.com. Also, you can type exclamation point donate into chat at any time for a link to donate. Yes, I am playing Jonah Mac McTaggart today. He, him pronouns. He is the established, and he currently does not remember who the Rising is. And why they are trying to get in his truck.
The Rising is redacted, and is redacted. No, the Rising is Argenta Hall. She, her pronouns. She is a young star burning bright at the top of her game, a fresh talent, a new eye. And she is nimble, curious, and bold. And at the moment, she has a giant piece of machinery that no one knows what it is. And a friend of 15 years who has no idea who she is. And a hardware store, I guess. That's about the only thing that she has to her name.
Theoretically, she has a deck of cards.
Or
I
lack of
remember
name.
that. Buddy. All
And
right.
before we take the break, we decided that the next prompt for Mac was going to be, "Where have you gone? I am counting on you. They are not that where you needed them to be. How do you fare alone? And where were you?"
Which is all bold.
Uh-huh.
Second question. Where were you? Which is really hilarious because it's written to sound really accusing, and we've made this a very funny prompt.
We've kind of how the turntables.
I love how we made a
here.
big, sad, emotional, designed to tear your heart out game, and you made a prompt funny. Congratulations to you, Daniel. Okay. I am looking at the prompt. Yeah, I don't need to do that. Oh yes, I am deciding what I'm going to say to you. You open the non-driver side door. Your arm around this big, weird piece of machinery that's deeply unfamiliar to me, and I'm pretty familiar with most machinery.
I think I'm loading it in the back.
That is also true. So you've loaded it into the back. I probably don't fully see you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, there they are, doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then you open the passenger side door, and my hands tighten around the steering wheel. Knuckles go kind of white because 3 things happen in Mac's head.
Yeah.
Do I play this cool? What the fuck has happened? Yeah, do I play this cool, or is this a fight? What the fuck happened? And
And of course, there's no
who the
obvious tell.
fuck are you? But you
There's
can't
no
say
obvious
that.
tell because Jet has no idea yet. So I think it's just like gets in the passenger seat. Let's go.
Oh. Now I have to figure out, because we've said Mac is willing to do the risky thing to be the right thing. And does he play along because that's just, you know? He's a social person, so he's gonna okay. I think okay, I have figured out the plan. Maybe. So Mac stuff on the gas and we start moving. Uh, I don't know when Gent realizes we're not driving to the original location. Uh, and I think Gent catches on that there's like not a lot of small talk because what does it look like when your friend is trying to like keep it cool and seem like everything is fine, but they don't know who you are? So it's a very different kind of everything is fine and chill than cool, this is our dead done. The job is done. We're doing it. We just have to go drive to the place and it's fine. The hard part's over. Um,
Mhm.
because, you know, it's been 5 minutes and I wasn't asking you anything about, so how did it go? Are you okay? Do you think
Yeah.
anyone is suspicious? Um,
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
ask
it's just
questions?
like, yeah, once it's clear, um, God, and I did say this was going to fucking Denver, didn't I? Okay, so there's a funny thing that y'all in general, both Blue and Chat, need to know about Goldfield, which is that Goldfield has 3 stations for the railroad heading north. There is the original one over on the west side of town. There is the current one with the machine shop that has the freight yard. And then there is the one in the Columbia, which is a joint station. And I think what happens is just after a bit, like Gent picks up on that you're not going to the right place and is just like is just like um hey Mac, Crook Street doesn't have a freight yard, buddy.
Okay. Uh, Me, a person who plays all of my suave people as instant pains and like instantly awkward. Uh, that's not what happens here. Because Mac knows how to do this. Love to play spies and be incapable of being someone who's cool under pressure. When you're telling a story about it. There.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Goodbye. Love you. Don't commit crimes.
Shout out to Sir T Cat. Everyone in chat, put S in chat for Scotch.
Perfect. Yes. My cat is 12 years old. Donate $12 for my cat. I don't know. I'm not very good at that part of the game. I don't stream often. This is my
Yeah.
second stream ever and my first one. Okay. So, uh, yes. Max flew under pressure. That was where I left off, and then my cat was like, "Please, mom, let me out. Thank you. Goodbye." Um, he sounds just like that.
Pretty much.
He doesn't really say thank you though. He's rude. Um,
I could do a slightly more precise impression, but Chris would probably yeet my audio for it. So
yeah, we don't need you to scream. Please. Okay. Okay. I am. Yes, doesn't have freight yard. It is time to switch tactics. That's what it is.
mm-hmm.
Not going to the freight yard. I think there's been a couple of occasions where Mac has had stern conversations, because I think conversation happened with the Brinley incident. We just didn't highlight on it because that wasn't what was happening. And there's
Yes.
been a couple of times where there's been, yeah, things have gone bad. They just haven't gone bad with like a sellout I personally hate. uh, and struggle to do violence with. This is not a voice Mac has ever talked to you with.
No.
Probably not the kind of voice that makes you unsettled because you're not friendly. You're just a stranger. But it's still very
It makes
unexpected.
me unsettled because I'm not a stranger.
A follow-up question because Mac does not elaborate. You're a stranger and things are going bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's the question?
I said, "Do you have a follow-up question?" He just said, "We're not going to the freight yard."
Oh.
Um, yeah, and that's all he says. Because the less you say, the less likely it is people are like, "Oh no!"
So answer me this, Mac. What exactly is the butler and bullfrog going to say when they find one of their trucks in the wrong place with cargo that they don't have registered at a station that doesn't have a freight yard? How does that look good for you?
Doesn't look good, but it looks a lot better than taking you wherever you think I'm supposed to be going. You're not part of the plan. His eyes flick down to his right boot. Attempting to be subtle, but Argenta is nimble and curious and,
Mm-hmm.
knows Mac and is probably looking very intently at this person who is acting incredibly strange.
Yeah. Then what do you think the plan is, Mac? Cards told us to have this thing on a connection to Gerlach. Where
I
would you
don't
take
know
it?
why you know all these things. You are not supposed to be here. You are not the person supposed to be in that seat.
Who is?
Mac winces, trying to figure it out. You know when you think of something and you can't? Well,
Mm-hmm.
usually when there's a magic thing there, when you go looking for an answer you can't find because something happened to it, it hurts.
Yeah.
Mac's probably got a pretty high pain tolerance. It's probably gotten a couple of magically induced migraines for different reasons. Probably nothing like this before, but there's a lot of reasons that messing with the way the world works can hurt. So, truck keeps going, but he goes pale and is visibly in pain. And then it stops.
Face softens.
I don't know, and that's not good.
No, it's not. I fucked up, okay?
What does that have to do with it? If I don't know you, I don't know you can do magic. It's a
You
very
don't know
small list
me.
of people. Hmm?
You should.
Max looks at you very intensely. Something kind of makes sense. Uh, but is also like very confused. Uh,
Come on, Mac. You're smart.
I don't know you. I can't use the perfect line for that.
I know that you can put it together. Nothing went wrong in that room. Not for the purposes of the mission, at least.
Doesn't look like it. I think Mac pulls over. What am I supposed to do about this? Just trust you all of a sudden because you said some shit that shouldn't make sense by all rights, but because
You're the one of us who knows how how the sparks work, Mac. I can't tell you how this is supposed to make sense because I don't know. That's always been your department. I don't have an answer for this. I just know that
help you if I don't know who you are.
we should get the job done.
Matt closes his eyes, rubs his forehead with one hand, sighs, and starts the truck up again. And we go and we finish the job, and uh, we. My instinct here is diner food, because a thing I do when I get headaches is I drink water, I take meds, and then I eat food
Yeah.
with carbs and good nutrients and stuff because that will all help. Um, whether it's a migraine or because I lost track of time. So my brain always says head hurty, food. Uh, also comfort food is just a vibe, and it's a place to talk
Mhm.
in public because I don't trust you. Because like, yeah, I get it, but also like
Mac is
the prowler
smart,
noise
but
from
also
Spider
Mac is
Verse.
smart.
Yep. So, diner or something like that, and hash browns and like 3 eggs over easy just slapped on top. Um, hash browns, gravy, and then eggs on top. Um, okay, so if I don't know who the fuck you are, we might have to catch me up, bud. You're my partner.
Yes. Name's Gent. Or Genta, if you aren't comfortable with that.
That's adorable. Because Mac is the only person who calls Argenta Gent. Uh, thank you.
Mhm.
Uh, thank you for this gift. Uh, yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Gent. Argenta. Okay. So you're still learning because you didn't do this on purpose.
Yeah.
That's good. That's real good because if you were trying to do it on purpose and this happened, I'd have to be mad. Than this. Thanks for that. Um, clear the throat.
I feel like you're pretty upset.
I don't like it when shit goes sideways.
No.
My job to know what's up and to be able to tell the cards what's happening in our town. And now there's a giant fucking hole in that. It's uncomfortable, to say the least.
Sure.
So you're new at this.
New to scraps.
Yeah. I have lost an entire person. I could have met you last week, or we could have grown up together. I don't.
Try Red Wing.
Max Brow furrows.
Actually, probably don't try Red Wing.
Here, knock, knock. You're welcome. Thank you for the attitude. Would you like to climb in my lap while you're at it? Come here. Thank you. If I didn't have Crisp on, you might hear my cat when he decides to rub his face on my mic if he does that. But Crisp nerfs my cat, so thank you
Good.
for your tail in my nose. I'm trying to play a game with you very forgotten a friend.
It's Crisp is very funny in situations like this though, because because we don't hear anything. Not even I hear anything. We just hear Blue yelling at Scotch, and it's very funny.
And I return my attention to um having magically induced amnesia, targeted amnesia in a diner. Um
Mm-hmm. Probably a
uh
saloon.
yeah. So I don't know what you said, but you referenced where we knew each other during the strike.
Yeah,
Etc.
I said Red Wing, and then I'm like,
Yep.
actually, maybe don't try to think about that because last time it hurt you.
I think it was less that I think what hurt so much was thinking about you specifically. There was enough people I knew, and it was a big enough part of my life that I'm not staring directly at the big empty space where you spilled white out.
That's fair.
Um, so it probably feels unsettling more than it hurts. But there's like brow's furrow, and then there's like his face falls in like disappointment because the math comes in, and it's like 15 fucking years. Uh, Probably swears a few more times. Uh, Some you know. Somebody who didn't fucking look at my resume would know. Cards aren't the only ones who know about all this.
Hmm. Oh.
Not everyone stays.
Let's grab a name generator. You remember Ed Mayfield?
I assume Mac does?
Mac would. I think bullshitting off the top of my head,
Proud of you for doing so.
I think probably let's
Not like this game wasn't almost setting tailored for that to be a thing. Ah. Also,
give
Float
me
City's
give me
fun.
1 sec. I am going to give a detail that will
Lambert George. Thank you,
Train
chat,
master
for your volunteer.
Train master for Zimbrota on the Northwestern.
What of him? Or are you giving me? Oh, yeah. Oh.
He he got a rifle after you and yours dumped the northbound 400. That ring a bell?
Just so Blue understands what is being said here. Is this a person who got angry and came after us? Or a person who
Yeah.
got it? Okay.
After you stopped an express train.
I'm just double checking that I've got my context all contextualized. Yeah. Uh-huh. And what did he do with it? So people get guns. Lots of reason to use them too.
What he did with it. Well, he didn't check that the junction sighting was clear. And the brakeman for the DMN&S, or DRW&S right now. Well, we'd leased him from the Milwaukee. I wasn't sure whether it was the rivalry or the Union blood, but he didn't stop that train. You dig?
Mhm. Yeah. So you were there.
I was at the other end of the line, but I heard about it.
You were where you said you were. It's a place to start. We gotta fucking tell the cards.
Yeah.
We can't work together until if I don't fucking know you. I can't have your back if I don't know where I need to be. And if I don't know you, fuck. Emotional sense memory exists, and also just the person
Mm-hmm.
is smart. If you've known a person for 15 years and you're working together, you're probably pretty good at working together. And insert many squaries here.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta tell the cards.
Yeah.
I can't work with you like you. You need someone who knows you and knows where to
We'll
be.
figure it out.
I'd have to write a lot of things down. It's a lot more you know than I don't know. And I think that's the end of the scene, full of swears. Because the answer is, I was right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I was right there.
uh-huh.
All things considered, I think she handled that fairly well.
Uh-huh.
The entire
How do
time
you
I'm
fare
like,
alone?
I'm leaning into
Progressive.
okay, how do I not lean into any tropes of being like, you remember me? And the answer is, you should remember me. You don't. I don't know what to do about that. I'm gonna be straight up.
Damn it, I can't even use this prompt. Oh, but it's also your turn. It's your turn.
It is my turn.
You wanna look at the one to the left of that? In the 8.5 by 11? There's a lot of those, but I definitely can't use this one for now. But there are also tons of other ones. That one I just think is funny.
Yeah, that is funny. To be clear, to be clear, the prompt that Blue is referring to is I'm without a way to keep you absent from my mind.
Something of them
Which is
lingers in your thoughts.
exactly the opposite problem of what Mac has right now. Ah,
There's also a way of giving in, which is funny because the thing you're hiding is. I wanna be. There's a lot of ways to do this, but it's your turn.
mhm.
And I already
Yeah.
yeeted a prompt at you. And then I also soft tossed you on this time, so you have to decide. I dare you.
Wow, have an opinion? Me? Less likely than you'd think.
I dare you. That's definitely how opinions work.
Yes, obviously. Uh yeah. I'm without a way to keep you absent from my mind. Something of them lingers in your thoughts. What entrances you? With this confession be welcome.
This game has so many openings to be a game about feelings. Oh wait, that's in the title, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm funny. Yeah. What does this look like? We're not working together. Are we having this weird montage of you
No.
trying to figure out who you work well with?
Yeah. I think it's just like, it is that thought about Chat has just caught up to it's in the title, and I'm very amused by the comments that are coming in. Uh, um, but I think yes, we are separated here, and I think it is just like I don't think I know the like any of the other red cards super duper well. Like it's been a while. We're more than passing acquaintances, but like the whole point of this game is you have two people who wind up assigned together a lot. Uh and when that happens, everyone else is like, You're max partners. You're max partner. You're
Other people feel like they're filling in if they get paired up with you.
mm-hmm. And that's how that's how people feel. And yeah, it is awkward, because everyone works in pairs. Chances are, like, we're put in with another team that's getting split up, and both of us are like, uh
Yeah, but they like got into a bar fight or something, or
yeah.
like
Yeah, that's the thing is probably they had a proper disagreement, and their story for once in our fucking for once in our lives, their story is the one that is more gay because they are having to get over unresolved feelings about each other right now, and we are having to
somebody is
get
still
over
getting to the point of figuring
unresolved
out their
magic
straight passing
about each other.
feelings. Ugh, straight passing feelings. That's a thing I said with my face.
That is the thing you just said with your face.
I'm proud of it. And my face.
But yeah, it what this looks like on Jen's end is like it is a lot of the same thing that we saw early on, with just like getting told off and being like, I understand. I understand. I will take note of that. I am taking you seriously. Yes. I am here. Yes.
But it hits different because it's not Mac.
Uh-huh. It is very resigned and very like, God, when can this fucking end?
And like as we explained, like us being separated means you're spending a lot less time trying to knock that picture frame back straight or whatever.
Huh.
Do you ask to hang out? Do you bring your deck of cards to my apartment and be like, I know you don't know me, but I miss you?
Oh, I need to pay off something. I need to
Uh,
pay off something. What it is like a couple of days after, uh, just Nox shows up, uh, with curtains. They're blue.
you don't remember giving me those curtains.
Uh-huh.
Because you don't remember me, so I can. Fuck. Oh, I look
Uh-huh.
at them and my head hurts. Why do you have my curtains? I didn't know they were your curtains until now. Who Who said they were my curtains? You did. Yeah. Except I don't remember, so that's not the scene. But yeah. Why do you have my curtains and why does it hurt? It's 8:30 again, but Mac wasn't sleeping very well. I think he also forgot to shave. So we've got stubbly, grumpy, there's like a fine scar crossing one of his jawline, one side of his jaw. Uh, he's got like a scar in his lip. I think you know it from seeing. No, he's got a scar in his eyebrow because last time you saw it, it was new. Not last time, but like 15 years ago, it was new because it was a cut in the middle of a gnarly black eye. And he just looks tired and cranky and familiar and cold in a way that I don't think he's ever been because Mac was like warm and sociable in a way he's not now. A long time ago when you met him.
I have them because you asked if I liked blue, and then you took your own curtains off your damn wall. You didn't have to do that.
I'd say I had a good reason if I could remember doing it. But they hurt, so
I'm here
whatever's
for the
in
crack.
there is you. More to do with you. Which is like sad and grumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he wants to remember. And trying, getting close hurts.
I think you know. I think you know better than to keep pushing it, Meg. I don't know how it'll come back.
People at work. It was easier for them. It took them a couple weeks. It's been almost 3 months. I wasn't even there.
You need help?
Who the fuck can help me? When we all don't even know how scraps can work. Especially the
try.
accidental shit. You figured out a channel yet? I use my cards. They're a thing I've had with me for years. It's easy to hold them and hold my mind there and you've heard this more than once. Figure out yours yet? It's not those curtains, is it?
No.
Clearly
I'll be
making
giving
it
back
interesting.
something I could channel.
Some people make stupid fucking choices. Trying to make up for mistakes. I'm glad this isn't one of them.
Takes out a little notebook, write something down. You talk about you having to do the right thing to pull on that. Now, that's not something everyone has to do.
It's different. That's a question some people don't figure out. Where are you going with
I
this,
don't know if
Argento?
I have to, but I think the least I can do is you want to remember. I don't. I stayed out of that more than I should back then because I didn't want my actions to hurt people. I I don't want my actions to hurt people. Maybe that's what was wrong. I we can figure it out. Get back, if not to where we were, then at least to where we can work together.
That's something you want?
Of course. Of course it's something I want. Maybe.
Thing around the corners of Mac's eyes soften. We haven't seen release since you climbed into the truck. $15 is a lot of time. One of the things I know that I didn't when you climbed in that truck is that I asked you here. I invited you in.
Yes.
That's a real short list. As in, I don't think there's anyone who could walk in this town now that I think I would tap in. I don't fully know what that says about what kind of partners we were.
If I'm honest, I talked it up to that I owned the store you were meeting in.
I think I don't still have this open. Um, but I can open it real quick. You remember Ewan Prisk? One of the porters running around?
Yeah.
We were pretty close. He could own the fucking hardware store, and I would not say a word about what the cards are. I had a cousin. I wouldn't invite them. I don't know what that says. Ewan doesn't have an ounce of any of the useful skills. Yeah, he can talk, but that is not his. He does not have a strong suit, and nor can he keep his mouth shut. Yeah, he was my friend. But he's a pretty boy who knew a few good jokes and how to get good tips. Whatever you were, there was a reason. Even if I don't remember you, I think I'd like to be your partner again, too. 15 years is a lot of years. And clearly I trusted
Haha, gay.
you.
Out of character, obviously.
Yeah. I think we might have fulfilled sort of. This could use another scene for us to wrap up later, but
I
fulfilled
think
the
we
win
better
condition
because
of the
we have
game.
6 minutes.
No, I'm rapping, but I'm saying like there's the game ends when one of you dies, when you have both admitted your feelings or walked away, or when you feel the narrative has reached its end.
Mhm. We did do the admitting your
Argenta
feelings
admitted some
things.
feelings, and Mac gestured at what is an empty hole that should be some
Should
feelings.
be feelings,
Feels like
except that
I have all of these
Mac-
evenings that they're supposed to be, and that
Matt
matters
got
to me.
fucked right up at the end of the game. Poor poor Mac.
Thank you, Carter. Thank you for this game.
Yeah.
Love to have a straight passing work relationship, and to end on a nice round number. Thank you.
Oh,
What was
someone apparently joined real quick and then didn't.
I did not notice. I just saw boops. Okay.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, I did not see who it was.
This was fun.
Yeah.
In the last 4 minutes, run to your computers to donate. You should be at your computers already.
Yes, run to your computers to donate.
Can we get to 25? Once again, this is in the Roll
goodness,
Plus
we
Bond
hit
second anniversary.
2,400, didn't we? Holy shit.
Wow. I'm gonna continue with what I was trying to say. Because wow.
Sorry.
No, I saw that and then you said it and then I thought about how many numbers happened in the last 4. Yes. This has been the Roll Plus Bond second anniversary charity stream. We have been raising money for NARF, the Native American Rights Fund, a nonprofit organization asserting and defending the rights of tribes with a focus on 5 key areas: preserve tribal existence, protect tribal natural resources, promote Native American human rights, hold governments accountable, develop Indian law, and educate the public. You can donate at tiltify.com/@rollplusbond or donate plus rollplusbond.com. If you hit exclamation point donate in chat in the next 3 minutes, it'll give you a link and you should give us your money. I have been Blue, Rook, Rowan, Dean. All of those names are acceptable. Multiple choice, baby. I use they and they pronouns, and I played Jonah Mac McTaggart, the established. Who knows who he is, but is still very lost. And Daniel.
I have been Daniel Gollery, playing Argenta Hall, who is helping. uh, you can find the games that I write at trainboy with an I 1.h.io, similar to what is in chat right now with the heart emoji. And that's about the long and the short of it. If you are interested in any of the weird history stuff we alluded to this stream, go ahead and look up the broader history of Goldfield, Nevada, as well as the history, violence, and the tragedy surrounding the Pullman strike of 1894. Thank you, and have a good night.